She texted, "Your cancer scare is just drama. Man up." I replied, "You're right." Then I updated my life insurance beneficiary to the nurse who actually cared. Stage 3 diagnosis made her regret everything. I, 38, am an architect. My entire life is about structure, plans, and ensuring foundations are sound before you even think about the windows. I apply that logic to everything, which is why this whole situation feels like I've discovered a fatal flaw in my own building's blueprints. My girlfriend of 5 years, Clara, 35, and I built what I thought was a solid life. We lived in my apartment, I own it, we were talking about the future, rings, the whole 9 yards. She's a social media manager, very online, very curated. Everything is about aesthetics and projecting success. I'm quieter. I like old books and quiet nights. Opposites attract, I guess. About 2 months ago, I started feeling off. A persistent exhaustion that coffee couldn't touch. Then, I found a lump in my neck while shaving. It was small, hard, and didn't hurt, but it was there. I'm not a hypochondriac, but I made a doctor's appointment. I told Clara I was going. She barely looked up from her phone. "It's probably just a swollen gland, Leo. You've been stressed with the new project." The doctor wasn't so dismissive. His face went neutral in that way. That's more terrifying than panic. He used words like concerning and biopsy. I left the office feeling like the floor had turned to sand. I sat in my car and texted Clara. "Doctor is worried. They're scheduling a biopsy ASAP. Pretty scared." I watched the 3 little dots appear and disappear for a full minute. Then the reply came. Leo, it's always something. Your cancer scare is just drama. Man up. We have the resort deposit due Friday, remember? Focus on what's important." I read it once, then twice. The words just hung there. Drama. Man up. The resort deposit. That was what was important. Not the fact that my body might be actively trying to kill me. Something in my chest didn't break. It just went cold. It was like a switch being flipped. There was no anger, no yelling, just clarity. The kind of clarity you get when an architectural drawing is suddenly revealed to be structurally impossible. You don't get mad. You just throw it out and start over. I replied with 2 words, "You're right." She sent back a thumbs up emoji. The next morning, I didn't go to work. I went to a coffee shop with my laptop. I pulled up the portal for my Provident life insurance policy. It's a significant policy, $750,000. Enough to ensure that if I get hit by a bus, the person I leave behind is secure. The beneficiary was, of course, Clara Bellwether. I clicked Edit Beneficiary. My mind went to the nurse who had taken my blood a few days earlier. Her name was Anya. She had seen the tremor in my hand as I filled out the paperwork. She had a kind, tired face. When she was done, she put a hand on my arm and said, "Whatever the results are, you've got this. Be kind to yourself." It was a small, professional gesture, but it was the only piece of genuine human compassion I'd received all week. I didn't know her last name, so I called the clinic. I was polite. I said I wanted to send a thank you card to a nurse who had been exceptionally kind to me. The receptionist gave me her full name, Anya Sharma. Back on the insurance portal, I typed it in. Anya Sharma. Relationship, friend. I put the clinic's address as her contact information. I clicked Confirm. The system sent me a 2-factor authentication code. I typed it in. A green checkmark appeared. Your beneficiary has been updated. That afternoon, I went in for the biopsy. It was uncomfortable and scary. The oncologist was kind but direct. He said we'd have results in a week. Clara never asked about it again. The week went by. She was busy planning our vacation, showing me pictures of infinity pools and complaining about her friend's tacky wedding theme. I just nodded along. I was an observer in my own life. Yesterday my phone rang. It was the oncologist. He wanted me to come in. I knew. It's stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. The prognosis is good, they say. 80 to 90% survival rate with treatment, but it's going to be a long, brutal road. Chemo, radiation, sickness, hair loss. I sat in my car for an hour after the appointment, the same spot as before. I thought about the insurance policy. I thought about Anya, a near stranger whose small kindness felt like a lighthouse. And I thought about Clara's text. Your cancer scare is just drama. Man up. Well, the scare is over. The drama is just beginning. And I have, in fact, manned up. I just don't think she's going to like how I did it. Update 1. It's strange how quickly your world can shrink. It now consists of my apartment, the oncology wing, and the grocery store. Chemo is as awful as they say. The first round hit me like a freight train. I'm tired in my bones. I told Clara the night I got the diagnosis. I sat her down on the couch, the one she picked out, the one that's stylish but horribly uncomfortable. We need to talk. I got the results from the biopsy. Okay, one sec, my cousin is having a meltdown over her caterer. Clara, put the phone down. She sighed, the sound of immense suffering, and tossed her phone onto the cushion. What's up? It's cancer. Stage 3 lymphoma. I watched her face for a flicker of something. Sadness, fear, empathy. Instead, I saw her mind working, gears turning. The first words out of her mouth were not, "Are you okay?" or "I'm so sorry." They were, "Oh my God, so the vacation is off?" I just stared at her. Yes, Clara, the vacation is off. Well, we're going to lose the deposit. That's over $1,000, Leo. I felt that cold calm wash over me again. I think we have bigger problems than a resort deposit. Then came the pivot. She moved closer, put her hand on my knee. The performance began. Oh baby, of course, I'm just in shock. We'll get through this. We will fight this. You're not alone. The word "we" sounded so foreign. She had been a million miles away when I was scared. But now that there was a real, tangible crisis, a drama she could star in, she was all in. I let her play the part for a few days. She was a whirlwind of activity. She made a big show of making me a kale smoothie, which I couldn't keep down. She posted a long, vague caption on Instagram about facing life's challenges with a filtered photo of us from last summer. The likes and "you're so strong" comments poured in. She was thriving. The other night, the topic of finances came up. She brought it up, of course, casually. We should probably make sure all our ducks are in a row. Just in case. Your will, your insurance, everything should be clear. I've handled it. Good. My name is on everything, right? As your partner, it should be. I took a sip of water. My mouth was dry from the meds. I updated my life insurance policy, yes? She beamed. Oh, good. It's just smart to be prepared. The sole beneficiary is now a woman named Anya Sharma. The smile froze, then melted off her face. What? Who the hell is Anya Sharma? Is this a joke? She's a nurse. She was kind to me when I was terrified, and you told me to man up. I have never seen a person's face change so fast. It went from concerned girlfriend mask to pure, unfiltered rage. Her voice, usually so curated for her audience, dropped into a low snarl. You did what? Are you insane? You're going to leave $750,000 to some random medical assistant you met once? Yes. After 5 years? After everything I've invested in this relationship? That money is for our future. It's for me if something happens to you. You made it very clear what was important. The resort deposit. Not me. I've adjusted my priorities accordingly. She stood up, her whole body vibrating with anger. This is because you're sick. Your brain isn't working right. The chemo is making you crazy. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm your next of kin, practically. You're my girlfriend, Clara, and that is a position that is being terminated. I want you to move out. I'll give you 30 days, as is legally required. I'll even pay for the movers. The argument that followed was epic. She screamed. She cried fake tears. She threatened. She accused me of cheating on her with the nurse. It was a masterclass in manipulation. I just sat there, too tired to fight back, and let it wash over me. When she finally ran out of steam, I just said, 30 days, Clara. The clock started tonight. She's still here for now. The atmosphere in the apartment is toxic. She alternates between silent, resentful glares and sudden, saccharine attempts to be the perfect caregiver. See, Leo? I'm here for you. Don't I deserve to be protected? She'll say while fluffing a pillow. I just turned the page of my book. She doesn't get it. This isn't a negotiation. It's a demolition. The foundation was rotten. I'm just tearing the whole thing down. Update 2. The 30 days are up. Clara is not gone. Her strategy has evolved. After the rage failed, she switched to a campaign of psychological warfare. Her latest angle is that I am medically and mentally incompetent. She's been planting these seeds with anyone who will listen. Her mother called me last week, a woman who I've had maybe 10 conversations with. She was oozing fake concern. Leo, honey, Clara is so worried about you. She said the treatments are making you not yourself. making rash decisions, pushing away the people who love you. Maybe you should let her handle your finances for a while, just until you're feeling stronger. I politely told her my cognitive functions were perfectly fine and ended the call. Clara also tried to ambush me with her brother Damon. He's a car salesman who carries himself like a hotshot corporate lawyer. He showed up one evening while Clara was out. He let himself in with her tea. I was on the couch, feeling like death warmed over after a chemo session. Damon, Leo, we need to talk, man to man. I'm not feeling up to it, Damon. You're screwing over my sister. She stood by you. And you're having some sick guy fantasy about a nurse? You need to sign a durable power of attorney over to Clara. It's the right thing to do, so she can protect your assets from yourself. He actually had a printed out form with him. He slid it onto the coffee table. The audacity was breathtaking. I started to laugh. It was a weak, wheezing laugh, but it was genuine. Me, get out of my house. You're making a big mistake. We can get you declared incompetent, you know. A judge will see you're not in your right mind. Then you should start filing the paperwork. Let me know what your lawyer says. Now get out. He left, but the incident spooked me. The next day, I had a new deadbolt put on the door that works with a key code. I gave Clara written notice that her key was no longer valid and she had 48 hours to vacate before I considered her a trespasser. That brings me to the latest escalation. My artifact, as some of you might call it. I have a collection of vintage sci-fi pulp magazines from the 40s and 50s. They're not just collectibles to me. My grandfather got me started on them. They're my one real passion. They're also worth a surprising amount of money. Probably around $40,000 for the whole collection. I keep them in archival boxes in my study. I came home from treatment yesterday to find Clara finally packing her things. Boxes were everywhere. I was relieved. But as I walked past my study, I noticed the door was ajar. The shelf where I keep the collection was empty. My heart sank. I walked into the living room where she was taping up a box. Me, Clara, where are my magazines? She didn't even look at me. I put them in storage, for safekeeping. What are you talking about? Where are they? You're not well, Leo. You might do something foolish, sell them for nothing. I'm protecting your assets. You'll get them back when you change the beneficiary on that policy back to me and apologize for how you've treated me. She was holding my history, my one connection to my grandfather, hostage, for money. The cold rage came back, but this time it was different. It was sharp. For weeks, I've been a passive victim of my disease. Chemo has been beating me down, but this was an active attack, and it woke something up in me. I didn't yell, I didn't plead, I took out my phone. Me, Clara, you have 60 seconds to tell me where my property is, or I'm calling the police and reporting this as felony theft. The collection is valued at well over the grand larceny threshold. Her smug look wavered. You wouldn't. Me? I am a man with a stage 3 cancer diagnosis and a very clear understanding of what's important. These magazines are important. You are not. 50 seconds. I started a timer on my phone. She watched the numbers count down. The bravado drained from her face, replaced by panic. She thought she was playing a game of emotional chicken. She didn't realize I had already ripped the steering wheel out of my own car. At 15 seconds, she cracked. They're in a storage unit, Unit 2 at 18 at Lock It Up down the street. I was just trying to make you see sense. I recorded her confession. Then I sent her a copy of it. Me, your things need to be out of my apartment by noon tomorrow. A locksmith will be here at 12:01 p.m. If you or your brother ever contact me or my family again, I will get a restraining order. We are done. I spent the rest of the night online researching lawyers. Not for the magazines. For the eviction. For a restraining order. For everything. He told me to man up. I'm a man of structure and plans, and I'm building a fortress. Final update. It's over. All of it. First, my health. The last chemo round was a month ago. A PET scan last week showed no evidence of disease. I'm in remission. The word feels fragile, like thin glass, but it's the most beautiful word I've ever heard. The road to full strength is long, but for the first time in a year, I feel like I'm walking towards something, not away from it. Now, Clara. She did not go quietly into the night. The day after my ultimatum, she was gone by noon. But the fight wasn't over. She refused to give me the key to the storage unit. She thought she still had leverage. So I took her to small claims court. It's amazing how the threat of a legal judgment can focus the mind. The hearing was a joke. I came prepared. I had the original receipts for some of the rarer magazines, a certified appraisal of the collection's value from 2 years ago, the audio recording of her confessing to taking them, and a copy of the text where I demanded them back. Clara, representing herself, tried to argue that she was a concerned partner safeguarding the assets of a mentally compromised patient. She even had her mom there as a character witness. The judge, a no-nonsense woman who looked like she'd seen it all, listened patiently. Then she looked at Clara. So, Miss Bellwether, your argument is that you took property valued at approximately $40,000 from the home of its legal owner without his permission and refused to return it because you felt he might mismanage it due to a health crisis? I was just trying to help. That's not help, that's theft. Judgment for the plaintiff, for the full appraised value of $41,250 plus court costs. You have 30 days to pay, or the plaintiff can begin collections proceedings. Next case. The look on her face was worth more than the money. The judgment is now a lien against her. Every time she applies for a car loan or a credit card, my name will pop up, a permanent monument to her greed. She eventually gave up the key to the storage unit. I got my magazines back. Her final gambit was a few weeks ago. She ambushed me outside my building. She looked haggard. The curated Instagram life had clearly taken a hit. She tried to cry. Leo, I made a mistake. I was scared. I know I messed up, but I still love you. Can't we just go back? I saw your mom's post that you're in remission. It's a miracle. It's a sign for us to start over. That money, the insurance, it's still there, right? We could have such a good life. And for the first time, I felt a flicker of pity. Not for her, but for the person she could have been if she wasn't so hollow inside. Me. The life you want is an illusion, Clara. It was never real. You don't love me. You love what I provide. When I was facing death, you saw a spreadsheet. When I needed a hand to hold, you sent a thumbs-up emoji. I stepped around her. I wish you well, but my life is no longer your concern. I haven't heard from her since. I blocked her on everything. So what now? I'm rebuilding. My body, my career, my life. It's quiet, peaceful. And Anya, the nurse? I didn't just leave her as the beneficiary. I felt I owed her an explanation. About a month ago, I went to the clinic. Not as a patient, but as a visitor. I found her on her lunch break. I told her the whole story. About the text, the diagnosis, and the impulsive decision I made on an insurance website. I told her I understood it was weird, and I was prepared to change it. But I needed her to know why I did it. Your small moment of kindness, I told her, was the only thing that made me feel human during the worst week of my life. It was worth more than you can imagine. She just listened, her expression unreadable. When I was done, she was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, keep it. Don't change it. Live a long, boring, happy life and make sure I never see a single penny of it. Deal? I agreed. We've had coffee a few times since then. As friends. She's a good person who loves hiking and has a ridiculous dog. There's no romance, no movie-ending kiss. It's just nice. It's a friendship built on a solid foundation. And right now, that's all I need. The $750,000 is still in her name. And I plan on living so long and so well that she'll have to wait another 50 years to collect. That seems like the best kind of revenge. She texted, your family or me, choose now. After a small disagreement at Sunday dinner, I texted back, family. Then I packed her things while she was getting her nails done. When Uber dropped her off, the driver had to take her right back to her parents' house with all her boxes. I, 31 male, had been with Tara, 29, for 3 years. We'd been living together for the last 18 months, and honestly, I thought things were going pretty well. Sure, she had her moments, but I figured that was just relationships, you know? The incident that ended everything happened last Sunday. My family does dinner every week, nothing fancy, just my parents, my younger sister Bethany, 6F, and whoever's dating someone brings them along. Tara had been coming for 2 years. The disagreement started over potatoes. Yes, potatoes. My mom made her famous garlic mashed potatoes, and Tara made a comment. These are good, but they'd be better with less butter. I've been trying to get Devon to eat healthier. My mom, Sweet as always, just smiled and said, "Oh, I'll keep that in mind for next time." But my sister Bethany, who's in culinary school, said, "Mom's been making these the same way for 20 years. They're perfect." Tara rolled her eyes. "Well, some things need updating. Not everyone needs to live in the past." The table went quiet. My dad changed the subject to football. Crisis averted, or so I thought. After dinner, Tara was helping clear plates, unusual but okay, and she accidentally dropped my mom's serving dish. It shattered. This wasn't just any dish, it was from my parents' wedding china, one of the few pieces left after 35 years. My mom teared up but said it was fine, accidents happen. Bethany went to get the broom. I saw Tara smirk. Actually smirk. On the drive home I asked her about it. "Did you drop that dish on purpose?" "Oh my God, Devin, are you serious? Your family already hates me, and now you're accusing me of what? Breaking dishes for fun?" "My family doesn't hate you. Your sister is a little witch who undermines me constantly, and your mom is so passive-aggressive with her traditions and her family recipes like she's some kind of saint." I pulled over. "Tara, what the hell? My mom has been nothing but welcoming to you." "Welcoming? She still introduces me as your girlfriend instead of your partner. She never asks my opinion on anything, and don't get me started on how your dad still calls me Teresa. It's been Tara for 3 years, and he's getting older." "Excuses. You always make excuses for them." We drove the rest of the way in silence. When we got home, she stormed off to shower. 20 minutes later, I got the text that changed everything. "Your family or me. Choose now. I'm sick of being disrespected. Either you cut them off or we're done. You have 1 hour." I stared at my phone. Cut off my family? Over mashed potatoes and an accidentally on purpose broken dish? I texted back one word, family. Her response was immediate. "Are you kidding me right now? You asked me to choose. I chose. I can't believe you're throwing away 3 years over this. You're the one who gave the ultimatum." She started typing. Stopped. Started again. Then, "I'm gonna get my nails done. We'll talk when I get back and you've had time to think about what you're losing." Perfect. Her nail appointments took at least 2 hours with her regular girl, sometimes 3 if she got designs. I got to work. Update 1. Alright, so a lot happened after I chose family. While Tara was at the nail salon, I packed everything. And I mean everything. I'm talking about a level of efficiency that would make Marie Kondo proud. I had boxes from my recent work-from-home equipment upgrade, bubble wrap from Amazon deliveries, and 3 years of suppressed frustration fueling me. Her clothes, boxed. Her skincare collection that took over 2 bathroom shelves, boxed. Her crafting supplies she used once and abandoned, boxed. The exercise equipment she insisted we needed, by the door. Her collection of self-help books about toxic relationships, boxed with a certain sense of irony. I even packed the succulent garden she'd started on the balcony, though I kept the one cactus that was actually mine pre-Tara. The entire process took 90 minutes. I loaded everything into the lobby of our building and gave the doorman a heads up. Then I ordered an Uber XL to arrive exactly when I knew she'd be getting back. I also did something petty but necessary. I changed the apartment's Wi-Fi password. She'd been using my Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Prime accounts for 3 years. Time to update those passwords too. At 4:47 p.m. she texted, "On my way back, I hope you've come to your senses." I texted back, "Uber's outside, your stuff is in the lobby." My phone immediately exploded. I counted 31 calls in 5 minutes. I didn't answer any of them. But I did watch from my window as the scene unfolded below. The Uber pulled up just as Tara's friend dropped her off. She stood there, fresh manicured, gleaming in the afternoon sun, bright pink with little rhinestones, very her, staring at the mountain of boxes. The doorman, bless him, just pointed to me watching from the window and shrugged. She screamed something I couldn't hear from the 4th floor, but I saw several people stop and stare. The Uber driver got out, looked at the boxes, looked at her, and I could see him pulling up his phone, probably checking if this was the right ride. She called me again. This time I answered. "Devin, what the hell is this?" "Your stuff. You gave me an ultimatum. I chose. Now you need to leave. You can't just kick me out. I live here." "Actually, you don't. Lease is in my name. You're a month-to-month guest. I'm ending that arrangement." "Where am I supposed to go?" "Your parents live 20 minutes away." "I can't show up there with all my stuff. What will they think?" That their daughter gave her boyfriend an ultimatum and lost? She hung up. I watched as she argued with the Uber driver who was now loading boxes into his SUV. She kept gesturing wildly, her new nails catching the light. Finally, everything was loaded. She got in, but not before flipping off my window. Classy. Update 2. So Tara went nuclear, but not in the way I expected. First, the calls from her parents started. Her mom, Deb, called me crying about how I'd abandoned her baby girl on the street like trash. Her dad, Robert, sent me a text saying I was no longer the man he thought I was, and that he was disappointed in my lack of maturity. I forwarded them the screenshot of Tara's ultimatum text. Radio silence after that. But Tara wasn't done. Oh no, she was just getting started. Day 2. She showed up at my office, in the middle of a client presentation. She told reception she was my fiancé, we were never engaged, and there was a family emergency. They let her up. She burst into the conference room, tears streaming, mascara running, the works. "Devin, please, I'm pregnant." Everyone froze. My boss, my clients, my teammates, all staring. "No, you're not," I said calmly. "How can you say that?" "Because you had your period last week. You complained about cramps for 3 days and made me buy you those specific tampons you like." The room was silent. She switched tactics. I meant I could be pregnant. We've been trying." "We've never tried. You've been on birth control the entire relationship, which you remind me about monthly when you pick up your prescription." My boss stood up. "Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." "This isn't over, Devin." Security escorted her out. My boss was surprisingly cool about it. Turns out his ex-wife pulled something similar during their divorce. Day 3. She tried to break into the apartment at 2 a.m. Thing is, I'd installed a Ring doorbell after she left, should have done it sooner. I have crystal clear footage of her trying to use her old key, realizing it didn't work, then attempting to pick the lock with a bobby pin like she's in a spy movie. She gave up after 10 minutes and kicked the door, forgetting she was wearing sandals. The hopping and cursing that followed was something. Day 4. She called my sister Bethany, trying to get her on her side. Bethany put her on speaker while I was visiting my parents. "Beth, you know how controlling he is. He probably told you a completely different story." "Actually, Tara, he showed us your text, the one where you demanded he cut off his entire family. That was taken out of context. What context makes your family or me choose now better?" "You've always hated me." "I didn't actually, but I did notice how you'd criticize everything Mom cooked, how you'd make Devin leave family events early, and how you broke Mom's wedding dish on purpose." "I did not. I saw you position it on the edge of the counter, Tara. I have eyes." Click. Day 5. The package arrived at my office. A glitter bomb with a note. "Hope this ruins your day like you ruined my life." Joke's on her. I recognized her handwriting on the package and had maintenance open it in the loading dock. They're still finding glitter, but at least it's not in my office. Day 6. She contacted my ex, Claire, on Instagram. Claire and I ended amicably 5 years ago. She's married now with a kid. Tara tried to convince her to expose me as an abuser. Claire screenshotted everything and sent it to me with crying laughing emojis. Her exact message: "Dude, your ex is unhinged." She really thought I'd help her? I told her you were the most boring, stable person I'd ever dated, and that's why we didn't work out, lol mao. Thanks, Claire, I think. Update 3. The escalation reached peak insanity. So remember how Tara's parents went quiet after I sent them the ultimatum text? Well, they'd been planning. Robert, her dad, owns a small construction company. Guess who started getting 1-star reviews claiming I'd hired them and they'd done terrible work? The reviews were obviously fake. They mentioned projects in cities I've never been to, but it was still a hassle for him to deal with Yelp. Then Deb, her mom, started a rumor in their neighborhood that I'd been cheating on Tara with multiple women, and that's why she had to leave. How do I know? Because Mrs. Patel, who lives next door to them and whose son I went to high school with, reached out to ask if I was okay. But the peak crazy came when Tara decided to throw herself a freedom party. She rented out a bar downtown, invited everyone we knew, and made it a whole thing. The Facebook event description read, "Celebrating my liberation from toxic relationships and choosing myself for once." My buddy Kyle went, for reconnaissance purposes, and live texted me the whole thing. "Dude, She has a PowerPoint. She's showing texts, but they're edited to make you look bad. Oh shit, she just said you have commitment issues because your dad never hugged you enough. Your parents are mentioned a lot. Wait, now she's crying. Now she's taking shots. Now she's crying again. She just told everyone you have a small dick. Some girl just asked why she stayed for 3 years then. Tara left the stage. The kicker? She'd been telling everyone I was abusive and controlling, but then someone asked why all her Instagram photos from our relationship showed her happy and traveling and doing whatever she wanted. Her response? I was hiding my pain. Someone else asked why she was still trying to get back into my apartment if I was so terrible. She apparently screamed, "You don't understand trauma?" and stormed out of her own party. But wait, there's more. Remember that Ring doorbell I installed? Well, it caught something interesting. Tara showing up with some guy I didn't recognize. They were carrying tools. Tools. They spent 20 minutes trying to remove my doorknob. The building's security finally showed up and asked what they were doing. Tara's response, "I'm locked out of my apartment." Security, "Ma'am, we have you on the banned list. You need to leave." The guy with her, turns out it was her cousin Eddie, tried to act tough. You can't ban someone from their own home. Security pulled out their phone and showed them the official notice I'd filed. They left, but not before Tara screamed that she'd sue me for emotional damages. Good luck with that. Update 4. So Tara actually tried to sue me. She found some ambulance chaser who took her case. I got served papers at work, again, really? For illegal eviction, emotional distress, defamation, theft of shared assets. That last one was interesting because we never shared assets. We never had a joint bank account, never bought anything together, even groceries were split via Venmo. My lawyer, yes, I had to get one, laughed when he read the filing. His exact words, "This reads like someone asked ChatGPT to write a lawsuit while drunk." The shared assets she was claiming? A coffee maker that I had receipts for. The couch bought before we met. 3 years of emotional labor, not legally an asset. Half the security deposit, she never paid any of it. Future earnings from the YouTube channel we were going to start, we never discussed this. We had to go to mediation first. This was an experience. Tara showed up in a full business suit, looking like she was about to give a TED Talk. Her lawyer looked tired already. My lawyer opened with, "My client is willing to return the items that belong to Miss Tara." "What items?" I asked. "Exactly," he said. Tara's lawyer tried to argue that 3 years of cohabitation created a common law marriage situation. The mediator shut that down immediately. Our state doesn't recognize common law marriage. Then Tara pulled out her evidence folder. It was something. Screenshots of texts where I said, "What's mine is yours," referring to pizza. A photo of us at her cousin's wedding with a caption about future plans that she wrote. Receipts for groceries she bought, all dated and showing her buying her own specific foods. A printout of an article about financial abuse in relationships. The mediator asked her directly, "Ma'am, do you have any actual evidence of shared financial assets or agreements?" He said he loved me. That's a verbal contract. That's not how contracts work. Her lawyer put his head in his hands. Then she made a fatal mistake. She admitted on record that she'd been secretly recording our conversations for the last 6 months, hoping to catch him admitting he owes me. 2 problems with that. 1, we're in a 2-party consent state. That's illegal. 2, she didn't catch anything because there was nothing to catch. My lawyer immediately countersued for invasion of privacy. Her lawyer asked for a recess. When they came back, he said they were dropping the lawsuit. But Tara couldn't help herself. "This isn't over. I know what you did." "What did I do, Tara?" You made me give that ultimatum." Even her lawyer looked at her like she was crazy. The mediator ended the session with, "Miss Tara, I strongly suggest you move on with your life." Update 5. I thought it was over after the failed lawsuit. I was wrong. Tara pivoted to a new strategy. She started dating my coworker, Garrett. Now, Garrett and I weren't friends, but we worked in the same department. He knew about the whole Tara situation because, well, she'd made a scene at the office. One Monday, Garrett comes in with a huge smile. "Guess who I matched with on Bumble this weekend?" I knew before he said it. "Your ex. Small world, right? She seems really cool. We're getting drinks tonight." I just said good luck with that. By Wednesday, Garrett looked stressed. By Friday, he came to my desk. Dude, is Tara okay? What do you mean? She spent our entire first date talking about you. Like, entire date. 3 hours of how you ruined her life, how your family destroyed her self-esteem, how you're probably dating someone new already. Am I? That's what I said, and she got mad at me for not knowing. Then she asked if you ever talk about her at work. Never. That made her madder. She threw a drink at me. Water? Margarita. Yikes. Yeah. Then she asked if I could get into your office computer to check your emails. She what? I left. Blocked her number. But dude, she's now messaging me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn. He showed me the messages. They were unhinged. She was offering him insider information about my weaknesses if he'd date her and bring her to the office holiday party. We took it to HR. They added her to the building's security ban list and sent her a cease and desist letter. But then came the plot twist. Tara's best friend, Luna, reached out to me. She wanted to meet for coffee. I was suspicious but curious. Luna looked exhausted. I need to apologize and also warn you. Okay. Tara's been spiraling, like really spiraling. She quit her job because she said she needed to focus on destroying you. She's living with her parents and spending all day planning things. What kind of things? She hired a private investigator to follow you. What? Yeah. But here's the funny part. The PI refunded her money after 3 days because you're too boring to investigate. His words. You just go to work, the gym, and your parents' house. I laughed. I couldn't help it. There's more. She's been catfishing guys online using your photos. Excuse me? She's making dating profiles with your pictures, matching with women, setting up dates, then not showing up. She thinks it'll ruin your reputation. That's insane. I know. I'm done with her. She asked me to put a tracker on your car. That's when I drew the line. I just thought you should know. I thanked Luna and immediately went to the police. With the evidence of the fake profiles, the PI admission, Luna had texts, and the tracking device request, I was able to get a restraining order. Final update. The restraining order changed everything. Tara was served at her parents' house. According to the process server's notes, she laughed and said, "He can't restrain true love." Her parents, however, were mortified. Robert called me that night. "Devin, I just read the restraining order. Is this all true? The private investigator, the fake profiles, trying to break into your apartment?" "Yes, sir. All documented." Long pause. "We failed her, didn't we? We always gave her whatever she wanted, never let her face consequences. And now she's facing them. I'm sorry, Devin. We're getting her help. Real help this time." I appreciated that, but it didn't stop Tara's final meltdown. Since she couldn't contact me directly, she did the next best thing. She wrote a 47-page manifesto about our relationship and posted it on every platform she could find. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as a 10-part series, even LinkedIn. It was called The Devin Files, A Toxic Love Story. And included our first date, wildly misremembered, every fight we'd ever had with creative editing, psychological analysis of my attachment issues, a detailed breakdown of why my family was a cult, screenshots of conversations taken out of context, her diagnosis of my various mental health issues. She has no psychology background, a conspiracy theory that I'd been planning to leave her from day one, reviews of restaurants we'd been to together, somehow also my fault, they weren't good. The internet's response was not what she expected. The comments were brutal. "Girl, this is why he left you." 47 pages? Touch grass. Team Devin. Imagine telling on yourself like this. "Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. My personal favorite. I've never met Devin, but I'd choose his family too." Someone found this Reddit thread and linked it in her comments. She lost it. The meltdown tweets were legendary before her account got suspended for harassment. The last I heard directly was from Luna. Tara's parents had checked her into a mental health facility for evaluation. She'd apparently been found by her mother attempting to hire someone on Craigslist to seduce Devin and break his heart. Her mom also found journals where Tara had been planning our wedding, dated from our second week of dating, 3 years ago, complete with a list of my family members she'd allow at the wedding. Spoiler, none of them. As for me, I'm doing great. Started therapy to process everything, highly recommend. Realized there were so many red flags I'd ignored. She'd joked about deleting messages from my ex. She'd thrown away a birthday card from my sister because it was too familiar. She'd told me my mom's cooking was trying too hard. She'd accused every female friend of wanting me. She'd tried to convince me my dad didn't respect me because he didn't make me join his business. My family's been incredible. Bethany made me a cake that said, "Congratulations on choosing correctly," with a little frosting, Tara getting kicked by a frosting boot. Petty? Yes. Delicious? Also yes. I've started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I went on a date last week where the woman insisted on splitting the check and said her family was her priority too. Green flags everywhere. Oh, and remember that wedding dish Tara broke? My mom told me something interesting. It wasn't actually from her wedding. She'd bought it at a garage sale years ago, but liked the story of it being wedding china better. She knew Tara broke it on purpose and was testing to see if I'd notice and stand up for her. I didn't need you to defend my dish, honey. I needed to know you'd defend your family when it mattered. Moms, man, they know everything. To everyone asking if I regret my choice, not for 1 second. When someone shows you who they are with an ultimatum, believe them. When they demand you choose between them and your family over potatoes, the choice is clear. Your family might not be perfect, but they shouldn't have to be sacrificed for someone else's ego. Thanks for following this absolute circus. I'm gonna go have Sunday dinner with my family. Drama-free for the first time in 3 years. Edit, since people keep asking, yes, the restraining order is still active. No, I don't know if she's still in treatment. I honestly hope she gets the help she needs. But that's not my problem anymore. Edit 2. For those saying I should have seen the red flag sooner, you're right. That's why I'm in therapy. Love shouldn't make you blind, it should make you see clearer. Edit 3. My mom's making the garlic mashed potatoes for dinner tonight. Extra butter out of spite. She waited until I finished renovating her apartment completely out of pocket before dumping me. She smirked. Thanks for the value boost. I smiled back. The next day she returned to find I had legally removed everything I paid for, including the toilet, the sink, and the flooring. And then they're too male, just finished renovating my girlfriend's apartment. Spent 6 months and about 47 grand turning her dump into something you'd see on HGTV. Day after I installed the last piece, she dumped me with thanks for the value boost and a smirk. So I went back and took everything. The toilet, the sink, the floors, the cabinets, all of it. Left her with the same nightmare she had when I started. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Let me explain. Met my ex about 1.5 years ago. She's a freelance graphic designer. I do commercial construction management. Things moved fast. Around month 4, she starts complaining about her apartment. Place was genuinely terrible. Original 70s everything. Avocado appliances, linoleum peeling everywhere. Bathroom that looked diseased. My landlord said if I improve it, he'll cut my rent by $200 a month permanently, she told me. That I'm broke. That should have been my first red flag. But nope, I'm an idiot in love, so I offered to help. Started with paint, then she's like, wouldn't it be amazing if the kitchen was actually usable? And the bathroom is so gross I can't have friends over. I went all in. Completely gutted and rebuilt the kitchen. Custom cabinets I made in my workshop, quartz counters, new appliances, designer backsplash. Bathroom got the full treatment too. Ripped everything out, new toilet, vanity, rainfall shower, even a small tub. Replaced all the floors with engineered hardwood, new lighting throughout, built custom shelving. The works. 6 months. Every night and weekend, $47,000 of my own money. She paid exactly $0. Kept saying she was saving for her business and would totally pay me back eventually. But she loved posting about it online. My amazing boyfriend made my dreams come true, with 1 million heart emojis. Tagged me in everything. I genuinely thought we had a future. Couple weeks ago, I finished installing the custom wine rack I'd built. Stepped back, looked around. The place was gorgeous. Better than most luxury apartments. Worth every hour and every dollar. My girlfriend walked through, running her hand over the counters, smiled at me. This really boosted the value, huh? Yeah, your place looks incredible. She nodded. We need to talk. You know that tone. My stomach dropped. We sat down. She hit me with the classics. It's not you, it's me. I need to focus on myself. I'm not ready for something serious. This blindsided me. We'd literally just talked about moving in together. Is there someone else? No, she said way too fast. I just think we want different things. I stood up. Okay, hope you figure out what you want. Started walking to the door. She called after me. Hey, thanks for everything. The apartment looks incredible. I turned back. She was smirking. Actually smirking. Thanks for the value boost. That's when it clicked. 6 months. 47 grand. I'd been a contractor with benefits. Nothing more. I smiled. You're welcome. Walked out. Sat in my truck for a while, hands shaking. Then I started making calls. Next morning, she was out at brunch with friends, saw her location still shared. I showed up with 3 guys from my crew. Here's the thing about renovations. If you're smart, you document everything. I had receipts for every purchase, photos of me installing it all, text messages where she explicitly said I was paying. Her landlord had signed paperwork acknowledging the improvements were done by me at my expense. Legally, everything I installed was mine. I'd just been lending it to the apartment. Over the next several hours, we removed every appliance, left the old avocado ones we found in storage, every cabinet I'd built, loaded into my truck, the countertops, both sinks, the toilet, replaced it with the original crusty one, the vanity and medicine cabinet, all the tile, every plank of flooring, exposed the gross linoleum underneath, all the light fixtures, swapped in cheap builder-grade ones, shower head, towel rack, tub, custom closet system, the shelves, even the nice outlet covers, left the apartment exactly as it was when I first saw it. Maybe worse. One of my guys looked around. Boss, this is brutal. She smirked about the value boost, I said. She's not keeping what she didn't pay for. Left a note on the original counter. Came to collect my property. Everything I purchased and installed has been removed. The apartment is back to its original condition. Good luck focusing on yourself. Signed it, left the key, walked out. Got home late afternoon. My garage was full of kitchen cabinets and appliances. My phone was exploding, but I ignored it. That evening she showed up, pounding on my door. What did you do? I opened it. She was purple with rage. Collected my property. You can't just take the toilet. That's insane. It's my toilet. Got the receipt. You left me with nothing. I left you what was there when I started. The original appliances are in storage. I put them back. She was shaking. You can't do this. This is theft. Nope. I documented everything. Your landlord signed forms saying I did the work at my expense. Nothing was gifted to you. They were improvements I made while we were together, using my materials, my labor. We were together. You can't take back gifts. Renovations aren't gifts, and you made it super clear yesterday this wasn't a partnership. You used me for 6 months to upgrade your place for free, then dumped me the second I finished. So yeah, taking my stuff back. Her face was red. I'm calling the cops. Cool, I'll show them receipts, permits in my name, texts where you said I was paying for everything. You contributed $0. She stared at me. You're a psycho. I'm a guy who won't be used. Get off my property. Slammed the door. Heard her screaming outside for a bit before she left. Sat down with a beer. Felt good. Vindicated. Look, I'm not heartless. I genuinely loved her. Thought we had something real. But that smirk? Thanks for the value boost? That showed me exactly who she was. Someone who saw me as a resource, not a partner. She played a game. I just played it better. Update 1. Been about a week since the great toilet repossession. The entitlement has reached new levels. My ex started calling from every number imaginable. Her friends' phones, random numbers, even tried her mom's. Finally sent one text, contact me again. It's harassment. Future communication through lawyers only. Gave her my lawyer's info. My cousin does property law. She thinks this whole thing is comedy gold. You documented everything? Every receipt, every permit, every text, photos of me installing it all. You're golden. She's got nothing. Couple days later, my ex's lawyer called mine. Apparently she scraped together consultation money. They're claiming I vandalized the apartment and stole fixtures that became part of the property. My lawyer sent documentation. Receipts, permits, installation photos, texts where my ex acknowledged I paid for everything and would pay me back someday. Radio silence for a few days. Then my ex's best friend showed up at my work, got past the desk, somehow caught me after a meeting. You need to fix this. Excuse me? She's living in a construction zone. No bathroom, no kitchen. You can't just leave someone like that. I left her with what was there before. That's not livable. Was livable 18 months ago. She can't afford to fix it. You know she's broke. Not my circus, not my monkeys. She dumped me after I finished her place. She doesn't get to keep my work and money. She stepped closer. You're giving back the appliances and toilet at minimum. Basic human decency. Human decency would have been not using me for 6 months then smirking about value boosts. Tell her to buy her own toilet. You're pathetic. And you're trespassing. Security. That night my ex's mom called. My daughter trusted you, loved you, and you're punishing her for being honest about her feelings? Your daughter used me as a free contractor for 6 months, then dumped me the day after I finished. She literally thanked me for the value boost with a smirk. She was emotional. You're taking it too literally. I'm taking my property back. She needs those things to live. The apartment has appliances, the originals. They work. She lived with them before. You're cruel. I'm logical. Your daughter played games. She lost. Hung up. Blocked that number. Few days later, landlord called. Surprisingly chill. Your ex is saying you destroyed her place? I removed everything I installed and paid for, returned it to original condition. Yeah, figured. Got the paperwork showing you did it all at your expense. She's demanding I make you put it back or sue you. I waited. Here's the thing. She's got 2 months on her lease. I'm not renewing. Soon as she's out, I'm doing my own reno and jacking the rent $800. She basically showed me there's way more value in this unit. I laughed. She's getting kicked out? Not renewed. Also billing her for reinstalling the old appliances. She complained they don't work. They work fine. She's just used to that Viking range you put in. Perfect. Then my ex tried a new angle. Showed up at my place with her boyfriend. Yeah, turns out there was someone else. He tried the tough guy routine. You need to make this right. What you did was messed up. I looked at him, then her. This the guy? She looked embarrassed. He didn't. Doesn't matter who I am. You left her in a bad situation. Bad situation would have been her being honest instead of using me as free labor while she cheated. She didn't cheat. You here when I was renovating her place? Silence. So yeah, she was seeing you while I installed her sink and cabinets. She cheated, used me, threw me away. Now consequences. My ex spoke up. I need the appliances back, please. I'll pay you over time. Nope. I can't cook. I can't shower. It's unlivable. Should have thought about that before the value boost comment. I was joking. Didn't sound like a joke. Her boyfriend tried again. Just be reasonable. Give her the basics. The stove, fridge, toilet. Where was her reasonableness when she used me? Where's the reasonableness in cheating while I'm working nights and weekends? She made a mistake, and I'm making a choice. Leave. They left. She yelled back, everyone's gonna know what you are. Good, maybe people will stop using me. Got inside, cracked a beer. Called my house flipper buddy. Still need kitchen stuff? Always. Custom cabinets, quartz counters, Viking range, designer fixtures. Basically new. What's the catch? No catch. Clearing out from a project that didn't pan out. Sold him everything for 32 grand. Not the full 47 I spent, but considering I used it for 6 months, fair enough. Plus money in my pocket. My ex is gonna lose it when she finds out. Update 2. 3 weeks in, the entitlement just keeps coming. My ex started a whole campaign with mutual friends, telling everyone I'm financially abusing her by taking our renovations. A friend gave me the heads up. She's saying you took the toilet out of pure spite, that you left her without basic utilities. The apartment has a toilet, the original, it works. She's making it sound like you left a hole in the ground. She's dramatic. Lost a few surface-level friends who bought her story. Whatever. Real friends know better. Then she escalated. Filed a police report claiming I broke in and stole property. Cops showed up. I showed them everything. Receipts, permits, texts, installation photos, lawyers' documentation, proving I had legal right to remove my property. The officers looked at each other. This is civil. We can't help here. You've got documentation for everything. She said I broke in. I had a key. I was approved for maintenance. Her landlord has paperwork I was doing authorized work. Younger cop shook his head. She's wasting our time. They left. I filed my own report about the false claim. Paper trail. Days later, her lawyer sent a demand letter. $47,000 for stolen renovations. $5 grand for emotional distress. $3 grand for temporary housing while apartment is uninhabitable. Demand I reinstall everything. My lawyer laughed reading it. Her lawyer's reaching hard. You've got ironclad documentation. This is intimidation. We sent our response. Copies of everything. Added that false police reports are illegal. Mentioned if they pursue this, I'll countersue for harassment and legal fees. Silence for a week. Then my ex got creative with social media. Started posting about financial abuse and controlling men who take back gifts out of spite. Never named me, but everyone knew. Comments flooded in. Half supporting her, half calling BS. Some mutual friends who knew the truth started dropping screenshots. Her texts thanking me for paying. Photos she posted bragging about her talented boyfriend doing all the work. She deleted it within hours. Screenshots lived on. Her mom left a voicemail. I know what she did was wrong. She admits it, but you're destroying her life over a mistake. Is revenge really worth it? Be the bigger person. Didn't respond. Bigger person means let her get away with it. Here's the kicker. My house flipper buddy posted progress pics of his current project. My custom cabinets in a gorgeous kitchen. Tagged me as the builder. My ex saw it, completely lost it. Showed up at my place late at night, hysterical. You sold my cabinets? I didn't let her in. They were mine. I built them, got photos of the whole process. I lived with those for months, and now someone who paid for them is living with them. That's how property works. I'm suing you. They were never yours. You paid $0. You gave them to me. Installed them while we were together. No gift transfer, no ownership change. They stayed mine. Her boyfriend stepped up. This is too far. She needed those. She needed to not use me while cheating. Here we are. You made 32 grand off stuff in her place. That's messed up. I spent 47. I recouped losses. Math. My ex was crying. I can't afford to fix anything. My landlord's not renewing. I have to move. Do you care? About consequences for your actions? Not really. You're heartless. I'm done being used. There's a difference. Both of you need to leave before I call the cops for trespassing. They left. Her boyfriend threatened to handle this differently if I didn't make it right. Called my lawyer immediately. Documented the threat. She said keep records of all contact attempts. Next development came from the landlord again. She's telling other tenants you're dangerous, that you broke in and vandalized. I've had people ask if they should worry. She filed a false police report. Cops confirmed it was civil and I had legal right to remove my property. Figured. She's also withholding rent now, says the apartment's uninhabitable, so she shouldn't pay. It's in the exact condition it was when she moved in. I know. I documented that when I showed her the unit. She's trying to escape lease consequences. Good for me though. I can start eviction. Wanted to warn you in case she blames you. Appreciate it. And hey, you ever want to do actual paid work on my properties, let me know. You do quality stuff. Last thing, my ex sent an email from a throwaway account. I'm sorry, I messed up. I hurt you, but you're ruining my life. I lost my apartment. I'm drowning in debt finding a new place. My mom is sick with stress. My relationship is falling apart because he thinks you're being heartless. Please just give me the appliances back. I'll pay you, I promise. I just need help. Forwarded to my lawyer. Classic manipulation. Sick mom. Relationship troubles. Payment promises. Don't engage. Blocked the email. Blocked every new number. Blocked her everywhere. This was never revenge. It was refusing to be a doormat. She made a calculated decision to use me for 6 months, then dump me with a smirk about the value boost. She played games with my money, time, and feelings. I just stopped playing. Took my toys and went home. Her consequences? Landlord not renewing? Relationship falling apart? Having to move? Not my fault. Those are natural results of her choices. I'm not the villain. I'm just the guy who stopped being the victim. Final update. 2 months since the toilet incident. Time to wrap this up. Legal stuff died fast once my ex realized she had no case. Her budget lawyer sent one more letter asking for 15 grand as a compromise for shared investment in the relationship. My lawyer responded with a breakdown. 47,000 in materials and labor, 0 from my ex, plus documented proof she was seeing someone else during renovations. Attached social media screenshots of her with the boyfriend, timestamped during my work. They dropped it immediately. Her lawyer probably finally explained she had 0 standing and was burning money. My ex did get evicted, stopped paying rent, claimed uninhabitability, landlord had enough. Court sided with him in about 15 minutes. She had 30 days. Heard she moved in with the boyfriend. Lasted maybe 6 weeks. Apparently living together revealed some issues. Who knew relationships built on cheating don't have solid foundations? Last I heard, she's back with her parents. Her mom called one final time crying, begging me to help my daughter. She has nowhere. She made her choices. I'm sorry she's struggling, but that's not my responsibility. You used to love her. Past tense, she killed that when she used me. Hung up, blocked it, the 32 grand from selling everything, down payment on a small investment property. A fixer-upper I'm renovating. This time it's actually mine. No girlfriend claiming value boosts. Just me building equity in something I own. Turns out I like this work. Therapeutic even. Got neighbors asking if I do paid jobs. Might turn it into a side business. My ex using me for free labor actually showed me a career path. Couple friends said I went too far, that I should have let her keep the appliances and toilet, been the bigger person. So let her use me, cheat, dump me, and keep 47 grand of my work? That's being bigger? They didn't have good answers. Others said they respected the boundary. One buddy said, you showed what self-respect actually looks like. Maybe. Or maybe I just refused to be a doormat. My ex tried one last reach out. Sent a message through a mutual friend asking if we could talk like adults and move past this. I sent back, we already have moved past it. I've moved on. She should too. Final word. Do I regret taking the toilet, the sink, the appliances, every cabinet I built? Not even a little. She looked me in the eye after 6 months of my time, money, and labor, smirked about the value boost. She made it transactional. So I treated it like a transaction. She wanted the improvements without the relationship. Doesn't work that way. People ask if I'm bitter. I'm not. Bitter would be obsessing, plotting elaborate revenge, trying to ruin her. I didn't do that. I took back what was mine. That's not revenge. That's self-respect. The renovation taught me I'm good at building things. Custom work, tile, full kitchen remodels, got the skills, but the experience taught me something better. Be careful who you build things for. Not everyone values the work. Some people think they're entitled to it. My ex saw my work as a service she was owed. Free labor because we dated. When she was done with me, she expected to keep the results without commitment. She learned people aren't tools you use and discard. Actions have consequences. I learned to document everything. Get agreements in writing. Protect yourself legally. Next time I renovate someone's place, if there is one, there'll be a contract. Clear terms, legal protections, or better yet, I'll stick to renovating my own properties. Much simpler. As for dating, taking a break, focusing on my investment property, building my side business, hanging with friends who have my back. Eventually I'll trust someone again, but smarter, more careful, less naive. My ex wanted to use me as a stepping stone. Instead, she lost her apartment, her relationship imploded, and she's in her parents' basement. I've got 32 grand invested in property, a potential business, and satisfaction knowing I didn't let someone walk on me. That's not revenge. That's just math. To everyone who supported me, thanks. To everyone saying I went too far, you're entitled to that opinion, but nah. To my ex, if you're reading this, and you probably are, you played yourself. You had someone who genuinely loved you, willing to invest time and money into your life. And you threw it away for some side piece. Hope the smirk was worth it. Done with this chapter. Time to build something new. Something actually mine.